abrazos. So welcome everyone. We are here to talk about Profit First. And specifically, I want to give you a strategy that you can use to at least double your own profitability in your own organization. I will invite you to join Profit First Professionals. We've moved to a class invite. So we only introduce people to Profit First in small groups now. And during the webinar toward the second half, I'll introduce some parameters about that. If you'd like to consider membership, I'd love to invite you in and I'll explain how to do that. But let's get right to it. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Mike Michalowicz, and I'm going to be kind of working the keyboard here at the same time to make sure everything's okay. And by the way, as we go through, if you have questions, please post it in the chat and I'll be sure to get to as many as I can. Again, my name is Mike Michalowicz. I'm the author of Profit First. You can see I have the book right behind me there, along with other books. And I've devoted myself to eradicating entrepreneurial poverty. In fact, that's my life's mission. And the reason is I've been an entrepreneur for the entirety of my adult life. Ever since I graduated from university, I have been an entrepreneur. And I know perhaps all too well, as perhaps you do too, the struggles of entrepreneurship. It is not an easy journey. Entrepreneurs need extraordinary guides. They need you. They need what we call the ABCs, the accountants, the bookkeepers, and the coaches of our global community to help navigate entrepreneurs towards success. And maybe you're familiar with the statistic inherently, or maybe you've heard of it. There was a study conducted that said 83% of small businesses are surviving check by check. The vast majority of small business owners are barely getting by. Yet they're achieving the revenue objectives that they set out, or they're increasing the growth of their business. They're selling and marketing their services. They're delivering on their promises, yet they can't be profitable. What's wrong? Well, I believe this represents the greatest opportunity of our time for ABCs, accountants, bookkeepers, and coaches to introduce profit consulting to clients. Well, I'll explain how this all works once you understand a fundamental principle that we've been studying now for about 6 years actively as the organization of Profit First Professionals, helped our members achieve, and I want to help you achieve, regardless if you decide to join an organization or not. I think this is a powerful strategy you can use. I'm going to use, instead of a PowerPoint, I'm going to use this little whiteboard to draw. So just because I'm not so savvy with PowerPoint, plus I think it's better to be able to do stuff dynamically. Again, if you have questions as I move along, post it in the chat. My commitment to you is we will be done well before the hour. I'm targeting about 40 minutes in this presentation. I do want to make sure I answer all questions. I wrote a book called The Pumpkin Plan, and that was one of my original books for entrepreneurs. And it was specifically a growth strategy that I developed and used my other businesses. I have used it with Profit First Professional, and we've now coached over 600 Profit First professionals in this strategy to growing their business. It actually employs many of the books I've written, but the Pumpkin Plan has the core process. And what's called is the sweet spot. What I'm going to draw here on this board is a Venn diagram. You're very probably familiar with that. A Venn diagram looks like this, where it's 3 circles that overlap. And it's at the intersection of the 3 circles in the middle where you will strike or have the biggest opportunity for profitability once you master the elements of these 3 circles. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want you to be aware of is that your business must have a uniqueness. If you want to double your profits, quadruple your revenue, and have really healthy financial growth, you have to be distinct in the market. So this first circle, if you're drawing this along with me, put in the word unique. We have a saying that better is not better, different is better. Now, I've had the privilege to speak with entrepreneurs from throughout the globe. And when I do presentations, I'm sure now over the last 10 years, I've spoke to at least 100,000 entrepreneurs. When I ask them in the audience, who here is better than the competition, almost every hand goes up. And actually, I'm surprised that some people don't raise their hands. Maybe they just don't want to. But we need to be better than the competition. That's the only way to distinguish themselves. What I say to this group, though, is if you feel you're better than the competition, if I invited your competitors in this room and asked them the same question, do you think they would raise their hand? And the answer is, of course. It is mandatory that you're better than the competition. So better is not better, different is better. What I mean is your prospects and clients will notice something that's distinct and different. In fact, if I went to a prospect and said, I'm an accountant, for an example, I immediately have drawn a picture in the client or prospect's mind. they know what an accountant is. They have a picture, the visor clicking away at the calculator. They have a vision of what an accountant does. And they also conclude, not rightfully so, but they conclude that all accountants are effectively the same. And this belief that our prospects have is true for not just accountants, it's true for bookkeepers and coaches. All bookkeepers do basically the same thing. All business coaches basically do the same thing. That's the client's perspective. It now puts us in a position where you have to explain how you're better. I have more clients. I've done more research. I have more experience. I have a certification or multiple certifications. And you need to point out to all these different things that point to your differentiation. But you're starting from the base of what's called a commodity. Because if a customer thinks you're the same as everybody else, they see you as a commodity, and it forces downward price pressure. I'll give you a real world example. About 2 years ago, one of the largest circuses in the world went out of business, called Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. They had international exposure, so I suspect many of you are familiar with it. If you've ever been to Ringling, I have. I would love to see in the chat that you've seen the Ringling Brothers Circus. Well, I'm in the New York City area. So in the New York City area, if you decide to come visit, there was 2 years ago, Ringling Brothers Barnum Bailey doing performances in Madison Square Garden, which is the preeminent largest venue in the New York area. The number one competitor in the New York area was probably someone you may not know unless you're from here. It's called the Big Apple Circus. Well, the problem with the Big Apple Circus was chances are you don't recognize that name. If you don't recognize that name, the larger name, the more recognized name is what's called the incumbent and wins the business. Because after all, from the consumer's perspective, all circuses are just circuses. They're just another commodity. And if you come to New York and you're with your family and you decide, I'd love to see a circus. Wouldn't that be fun? And you see an advertisement for Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus, and you see an ad for Big Apple Circus, we have the propensity to go to Ringling Brothers. Unless one thing happens, unless Big Apple Circus is cheaper. You see, when all things are the same, we go with the most trusted name we recognize. It's called the incumbent. Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus, I think they dictated roughly in their preeminent times about $90 a ticket for the best seat at Madison Square Garden, which is one of the most famous venues in New York City. Big Apple Circus, who had the same performers. In fact, when Ringling Brothers went out of business, a lot of those performers went permanently to Big Apple Circus. Many of them worked both of the jobs. Same performers and acrobats. The same venue, they performed Madison Square Garden. The same show, effectively. Big Apple Circus couldn't get $90 a ticket. They could get roughly $40 a ticket. They had to be less than half the price of the incumbent to win business. What happens as a customer, you see Big Apple Circus, you see Ringling Brothers is going to win your business. But if Big Apple Circus is charging a lot less, it may be worth the risk. That's the power, or I shouldn't say the power, that's the challenge of being a commodity. If you are not the most established incumbent, recognized name in your entire industry, you're playing second fiddle to them. And you therefore, to compete on the customer's perspective, the first question will be, are you cheaper? And it forces downward price pressure. And then you have to try to argue your way up to a higher price point. Well, one way to circumvent that and to really distinguish yourself in the market is by establishing uniqueness. Now, if we look at the circus industry, there's one circus that broke out of the downward price pressure. And this circus, they can charge $250 a ticket at Madison Square Garden, if not more, and they're sold 6 months in advance. If anyone knows who the circus is, I won't say it. If you know who it is, put it in the chat. I'm curious if it comes to mind right away. What's the circus that's booked 6 months or more in advance and can charge as much as $250 or more for tickets? Cindy nailed it right away. Cindy Berkowitz, you win a prize. The prize is you get recognized. Jorge, you nailed it. Kendra, so all of you are nailing it. It's Cirque du Soleil. It's Cirque du Soleil. The funny thing is I didn't even need to explain who they were. You knew. Linda got it too. Cirque du Soleil is the circus that was able to distinguish itself in the market in a very unique way, and they're no longer considered a circus. Now, here's the funny thing. If you speak French, you know what Cirque du Soleil stands for. It's Circus of the Sun, or the Sun Circus. Could you imagine the Sun Circus? That's what they named themselves. And now you're looking at an ad for Ringling Brothers versus Big Apple versus the Sun Circus. Ringling Brothers would win. But here's what I suspect happened the very first time you heard Cirque du Soleil. Tell me if this resonates with you. The very first time someone told you about Cirque du Soleil, you likely said, what is that? What does that mean? Who is that? You couldn't put them in a commodity box in your mind. You didn't draw the picture of tents and elephants and clowns. But if they said, oh, there's this new circus called the Sun Circus, you probably didn't say, oh, how's that? That sounds amazing. That's different. But when you heard Cirque du Soleil, if your mind couldn't register it as a standard circus, we were open to understand the uniquenesses. And Cirque du Soleil can charge a premium accordingly. Now, here's the funny thing. The core infrastructure of Cirque du Soleil, I've done the research, is nearly identical to Ringling Brothers. Same performers. Many of the Ringling Brother performers now work at Cirque du Soleil. They perform at the same venues. Infrastructure costs are the same. They have a different setup. Instead of using live animals, they put acrobats in costumes. They ditch the clowns because clowns are scary. But effectively, 90% or more is the same. Yet we pay an extraordinary premium for that performance. Reason, I would argue, is because we see them as different. Don't you? You and I, we need to distinguish our businesses by being different. How are you unique? Now, at Profit First Professionals, we found a very simple strategy to do this, and I want to encourage you to consider it for yourself. Every one of our members is a profit advisor. They don't lead by saying, hey, I'm an accountant or a bookkeeper or coach. They introduce themselves by saying, I'm a profit advisor who happens to do accounting, bookkeeping, or coaching, but I'm a profit advisor. You see, when you approach a prospect, maybe even when you've heard it now, your mind probably said, a profit advisor, what exactly does that mean? Yes, that's the goal. If I can get you saying, even temporarily in your mind, what does that mean? That means you've not put me in a box of a commodity, just another. Now I'm distinct in the market, and I can show you how I'm distinct. So all of our Profit First professionals will lead by saying, I'm a profit advisor. Prospect says, well, tell me more about that. I'm not familiar with it. I have the certified tools and skill set. I have the tools and skill set and a certification in Profit First to provide profit advisory services to you. I'm also an extraordinary accountant, bookkeeper, or coach, and I do all that work for you, but you should expect that from anyone. And that's the key. When you are distinct in the market, and the consumer is thinking that an accountant, bookkeeper, or coach is a commodity, to argue that is impossible. But to acknowledge it is very powerful. To say, you know what? Yeah, all accountants effectively are the same, but I'm not an accountant. I'm a profit advisor. You know, all bookkeepers and coaches are the same. I get it, but I'm not that. I'm a profit advisor. So step one here is you have to offer something that's distinct and unique in the market. Become the Cirque du Soleil. It only has to be a small difference, 10%. That's what Cirque du Soleil did, but you have to also assign a label to it. I challenge you to figure out your uniqueness and become a profit advisor. What our members do, or whatever your term is, but our members become a profit advisor. What makes you truly unique in the market? How do you associate a unique label to it to stand out? That's the first element. The second element is that we need this offering to appeal to what I call top clients. Now, to be clear about this, top clients are customers who demand that uniqueness. They put significant value in it, and they're willing to pay a premium to acquire that uniqueness. A classic example is Apple Computer. Actually, I have an old phone here. I'll show you in just a second. But Apple Computer did something that's really unique. Steve Jobs embraced a uniqueness. He actually, I don't know if this is true too. Maybe you want to Google this after the webinar is over. Steve Jobs had a phobia for buttons. Make a note of that and you can Google it later. Steve Jobs literally had a phobia for buttons. He was afraid of buttons. That's why he always wore that turtleneck, and he would never have buttons on his jacket or shirt. He always wore that turtleneck, and he wasn't wearing button-fly jeans. I'll tell you that much. Well, Steve Jobs leveraged that oddity or uniqueness, and they were the first to make phones that were buttonless. Remember, the original Apple had no buttons. It had one button sunk in here at the bottom. This is an iPhone also. The button is gone. Now, I realize other companies have done that, but Apple is the innovator. And by doing this, they were blending technology with art. They made something unique. And they identified a community that wanted that more than anything. Art studios, design shops, marketing agencies, even the educational market. So as Apple started the stratospheric rise they had, it was by serving a specific community that saw that they were finally being valued and offering something unique to them. As we develop Profit First Professionals, the organization, we found this amazing statistic that 83% of businesses, 83% of businesses are surviving check by check. And let me just put the uniqueness here, your label. So 83% of businesses in the world are surviving check by check. There's massive demand here. There was a study conducted by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. They're, if you're outside the U.S., they're a U.S.-based agency that studies small business. They did a regional or a study nationwide, and then they made an international study. And it wasn't only the SBA. They were a small factor of this. There was others involved. I don't recall who they were. This research identified that 83% of businesses are surviving check by check, 83% specifically of small businesses. And the SBA defines a small business as a company that does $25 million US in annual revenue or less. That's my business. I suspect there's many people watching right now. The vast majority of businesses in the world are small business. In our globe, there's 180 million small business owners. There's a lot of small businesses out there. And the study went on to identify that 83% of these businesses are in check-to-check survival. They are desperately looking to sell money to cover the rent, to pay for the employees, and the owner themselves are not paying themselves. It is almost to the point of absurdity that the reason most people, perhaps you and myself, the reason most people start a business is in part to achieve financial freedom, yet that is the biggest missing component for small business. There is massive demand right now, massive demand from top clients looking to not survive check by check. They need someone who has that unique offering, and the label is a profit advisor. That's how we've done it at First Professionals. So my challenge to you is what makes you unique in the market, and who are the top clients that need that uniqueness? You have to be distinct from the competition. That increases your value. And there has to be a community that wants that more than anything. Profit First, we found we have over 400 active advisors right now. What we have found is that there is a massive need for profit advisement. Many businesses are struggling surviving check by check. Our members are profit advisors. We've trademarked that and service marked it to protect them. And as a result, they are delivering a unique service that's in high demand from top clients that are surviving check by check. That's how we did it. The exact same opportunity for your own business. Okay. The third and final element in this system for colossal growth is systems. And what I mean by this is you want to do the NBON. The third necessary element, I got to kind of peek around the corner here, is systems. Systems, just so we're clear, is where your business runs on automatic. You can attract prospects, convert those prospects to paying customers, have them raving about the experience as you deliver your service or product, maybe even automatically referring to other people, all while you're sleeping. That's the key component. Without your conscious active input as the business owner, you need to have systems, processes that are established and work so other people, other things, even technology, can execute on these processes without your active input. Because if that works, now you're not carrying the business on your back anymore. Now the business can grow even in your absence. I travel a lot throughout the world, a lot to visiting my friends in Mexico, to Central America, South America, to northern parts of Canada, and all the way out to Eastern Europe and Asia recently, Australia. First of all, McDonald's are everywhere. This need is consistent everywhere. I found something that's fascinating in these travels when it comes to McDonald's. I've now taken it upon myself when I stop by McDonald's to ask the cashier, is the owner present? This is something I started for fun. And it's not because I have a complaint or anything. I'm just curious if the owner's present. Never once has someone that said, oh yeah, the owner's here. McDonald's has nailed the systems process. The owner's job is to give strategic direction to the company, but the owner doesn't flip the burgers, cook the fries, and is not in that glorified closet that they call an office. That's the store manager. The owner looks to scout out new opportunities, expand the franchise, get other locations, or going to the headquarters to talk about strategic planning and decision-making. That is what systems are about. You have the opportunity, and I encourage you to do that, because if you have systems, you have NBON, no business owner needed. This means the business can operate in absence of the owner. The owner can do this true strategic thinking and planning to move the business forward and achieve the outcomes you want. Now, if you look at these three elements, Let me show you how they work. I suspect for this call, some people on this call may be achieving some of this. Maybe you are truly unique and distinct in the market. Maybe you have systems or top clients, but many cases, or I would say is in the few minority that I find a business has nailed all three of these. With Profit First Professionals, by the way, we deliver all these systems. We've developed them over the last 10 years. Before we launched the company 5 years ago, I was developing them as I wrote the book, and we have done for you systems. So our members, when they do a profit assessment, something that's far more advanced than what you see in the book, it's an automated system. They just plug in the numbers, they charge their client accordingly for this sophisticated report, but the system does the report so they can go on to the next client while dictating a significant premium because it is so unique and there's clients that need to drive profitability. So a unique reporting and planning system that's fully on automatic. The owner of the business just plugs in the numbers or has one of their employees do it and spits out the report that serves the top clients. They dictate a premium for that and they repeat the process over and over again. You may have a couple of these things nailed down yourself. One common scenario I see is businesses that are unique in the market. They have clients that are demanding the uniqueness, but there's no systems really in place, which means the business owner is required. Well, this is what's called a TFM, or a time for money trap. The problem with the TFM up here, excuse me, is that you are the one who has to do the work. You are bringing the uniqueness to your top clients, but it's not systematized. So the only way to scale is to work harder and longer. Can you relate to, if you can relate to that, definitely post in the chat, that for you to grow your business, it's requiring more and more effort, for you to be more and more present for your business, to think about your business more and more, to, worry about when you go to sleep at night. If you can relate to that, you may be experiencing TFM. And if you feel compelled to share in the chat, I'd love to see that. I lived this way for a couple of decades before I realized this is no way to scale a business into perpetuity. The other trap here is top clients with systems, but it's not unique. That's definitely a challenge. Thanks, Susan, for saying you can relate. I get it. I can relate too. Top clients with systems, but it's not unique, causes the DPP response. That stands for downward price pressure. DPP is downward price pressure. And this is where you have top client demand. Clients need what you have to offer. It's systematized, so you can deliver on automatic, but you're not distinct in the market. That causes DPP. That's where your clients say, oh, you're just another accountant, bookkeeper, or coach. Are you cheaper than the alternative? Because they don't see a true uniqueness in you. And Bill asked a question, what type of systems do we have? I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. Thanks for asking that, Bill. I'll share some more systems about proposals and so forth. So the last component is this one. Some people on this call may have systems and uniqueness, but there's no demand for it. I don't have an acronym for that one, but I do have a situation that maybe you can relate to. You're screwed. If you have a uniqueness and it's systematized, but no one wants to buy it, you're screwed. You're out of the business. It's only the intersection of all three of these where a business is positioned to really double, triple, quadruple its profitability and revenue easily. There's demand for it. It is truly distinct in what you're doing, and and it's running on automatic. If no one else is really able to do it, or no one's actively doing it, clients want it, and you can deliver on automatic, you have a business that's hit this sweet spot in the middle and is positioned for colossal growth. So what my challenge, or what I want to encourage you to consider in your business, are these three elements here. Is what makes you really unique in the market. Start off with a unique label that speaks to your uniqueness. Our members are profit advisors. Cirque of the Sun became Cirque du Soleil to make people say, what does that mean? That positions you to point out your differentiator, and you only need to be only slightly different. That 5 or 10% different is what customers will pay a premium for. The core competencies remain the same. It's what's that add-on that really distinguishes you. Next thing is top clients. Top clients, again, are customers that value your distinction, will pay a premium for what you have to offer, and will come to you repeatedly. Is there demand for what you're doing? What we found with Profit First Professionals is 83% of small businesses, the vast, vast majority of small businesses, are in desperate need for profitability and profit advisement. And so that means of the 180 million small businesses out there, we're talking 130, 140 million small businesses are right now actively seeking to increase their profitability and need an expert in that capability. And the last part is systems, no business owner needed. Systems are where there's no dependency on a linchpin employee or a linchpin owner to do the work. How do you get the work done automatic? So what I want to do is introduce you to Profit First Professionals, our organization, and I'd like to invite you to consider membership. We are inviting today members, final group for 2019, and we will introduce again at some point in 2020. So let me share what we have to offer, and if the timing's not right for you, I respect that, and we can revisit this in a year or two from now. But if the timing's right, I want to make sure that you're fully educated on what we have to offer. So as a reminder, Profit First Professionals was started about 5-6 years ago. I launched my book, Profit First. I am proud and humbled and honored all at once that Profit First has become the largest global brand in the world on profitability. It's La Ganancia es Primero in Spanish. It's in 20 different languages. It's coming out in Flemish now, but it's in Russian and Chinese, simplified and complex Chinese. It's in, of course, in English. And it's really taken on this massive kind of exposure beyond my wildest dreams. As a result, we have a continuous stream of inquiries from business owners seeking out the expertise of a professional to support them in this. The book is the recipe, but it isn't the cook. And entrepreneurs are often intimidated and they don't know if they're actually getting Profit First right. So they're out seeking Profit First professionals. We get on average about 20 inquiries a day into our own office asking for a Profit First professional. The searches on the internet for Profit First professionals supersedes the calls we have coming in by at least 5 times. So we expect about 100 to 150 searches every day happening right now from entrepreneurs seeking out the services of a certified Profit First professional. Here's the offer, or here's the opportunity. As a certified Profit First professional, you will benefit from a few things. First of all, a uniqueness. You'll be affiliated with the brand. And I don't know what your marketing investment is now, if you spend $5,000 or $10,000 a year, or 20, or if you're out there going to the Chamber of Commerce or working things or looking for referrals and working those relationships. You know, time is money. There's no question about that. A lot of small businesses make a significant investment, typically with time, sometimes backed with money to drive the business forward. It is a costly endeavor. As a Profit First professional, you'll leverage our established brand. Like I said, we're the most established brand in the world around profit consulting. You will immediately be affiliated with us. Our company, our system provides the badging, the nomenclature for your website, all the stuff to really distinguish yourself and maximize your SEO. One really cool thing we rolled out this year is a validation badge. You, as a certified Profit First professional, will receive a badge for your website that a prospect can click on, and it validates that you're properly certified in this process. Sadly, there's a lot of, I hate to use the word fraudulent, I can't think of another word at the moment, but there's a lot of companies out there now saying that they're Profit First companies or doing Profit First consulting when they're not certified by our organization. We are aggressively shutting them down. We've hired a legal team to do that because that's just fraudulent. That's not true. And we want our members to be recognized for being truly certified. So we started this credibility or validation badge. You'll be given that as a Profit First professional so you can distinguish yourself and prove to your prospects that you are authenticated and certified in the Profit First methodology. So it's instant marketing credibility without needing to go out there and do the work. We're doing the legwork constantly. In fact, my biggest mission at myself in the company is to be a spokesperson for the brand, speaking internationally all the time, doing interviews constantly, television appearances, and so forth. But we have a whole team here marketing the Profit First brand that you'll benefit from. Top clients, we explained the demand here. We're one of the few businesses or organizations I can think of where we have such massive inflow of opportunities because the demand is so unique. So you will benefit as a Profit First professional from a massive market that's out there. And our most advanced members actually are given leads by our company. That's at the advanced level. And then the final thing is systems. And back to Bill's question, systems are what we've really concentrated on, these done-for-you tools. So we have systems in, first, the training. We have what's called Profit University. Profit University has all the advanced training on Profit First. It's on demand. You'll go through the process through our system. But we also, have live a live guide. So as a Profit First professional, you'll be assigned a live person here at our offices. We're all based out of New Jersey. I take it back. 2 of our guides are remote, but our headquarters is here in New Jersey. And you'll work with a live guide. Our guide will ensure that you're achieving the results you want and moving through the system. Opportunities will present themselves. And maybe, and it happens, someone becomes a Profit First professional and a week later, they get their first Profit First lead and they haven't gone through all the full training yet. They need help. Our live team, including myself, gets on the phone with you. We get on the phone with the prospect. We will help you close the deal. We'll even help you in the installation of Profit First if you're not familiar with it. We also have our online support community. It's through Facebook because it's such a popular platform, but we have our own private site where our members are actively supporting each other. Unique challenges, questions, things that are like could be some of the strangest questions you think you've ever heard of. Those get answered by our members. We have over 200,000 implementations of Profit First out there and growing daily. We have over 3,000 or 4,000 documented case studies. We know what we're doing, and those answers will be provided to you. To Amy's question, NBON stands for No Business Owner Needed. The ultimate business, a business that's truly running on automatic, then there's no need for the business owner. So no business owner needed is NBON. And that's what we want your business to achieve. So that's the training systems. But continuing on, we provide you with the marketing. So all the marketing content is done for you. SEO is the way to go. A LinkedIn page will help you set that up so you really distinguish yourself. We'll give you the credibility badge on your website. And then, so on top of marketing, then we have the deliverables that are automated. We have a system we call PAT. It stands for the Profit Assessment Tool. It's the advanced system that does an analysis and a report for you. Some of our members charge, and we'll give you dictate guidelines around pricing. Pricing is your own determination, but we do give you guidelines around pricing. Some of our members charge $2,000 or $3,000 to do a profit assessment. Some bigger clients, a little more complex, can charge $10,000 or $20,000 for a project. Cumulative time in developing these reports, probably about 4 hours of time. So 4 hours, and say you're on the low end, you charge $2,000. That's equating to $500 an hour. On the big end, 4 hours, and it's like a $20,000 or $30,000 project. That's real money. It's not taking advantage of our clients, by the way. You're not taking advantage of your clients. You're delivering a specific need they have. And we as an organization have invested lots and lots and lots of time and lots of money of developing this tool. You are making an investment in the tool. So the fact that it doesn't take all your effort, the fact that it's purely systematized does not devalue it. It actually increases the value, and we're constantly improving that tool. So that's one example. We have other reports for you. We have done for you presentations if you do live presentations, and we're here to support you throughout. As a Profit First professional, you will need to get certified. So you go through an exam to ensure that you showed competency in Profit First. You'll also be audited to make sure you've implemented Profit First properly in your business. It's a soft audit. We don't like call your bank or anything. It's just we check on certain numbers to ensure you've implemented Profit First, because we believe the only way to teach it, the only appropriate way to teach it, is to master it yourself. Of course, we live by Profit First here at our offices. We expect our members to do the same. All right, let me tell you the investment and then tell you, if you're interested in to proceed, what we can do today. And if you're not ready to proceed, again, I'll tell you, we have this opportunity coming up again at some point in 2020. So we can wait till next year or the year after. I don't want you to feel rushed, but if you do feel this is a good opportunity for you, I want to share how you can proceed. So I'm just setting up the link I want to share. Okay, I think I got it here. To become a Profit First professional, you need to go through a live training. The training is a one-time cost. It's $3,000, and we do have an installment plan if it supports you in your cash flow management. So it's a $3,000 live training. We conduct them here at our offices. We also have training in California, and in the future, we'll have other locations too, but it's either in the New York, New Jersey area, there's major airports here, or Southern California, the Los Angeles area. So we have training going on. The next training, I believe, is in December. There's a training in March. This is a deep dive with our team to really masterfully understand Profit First at the most sophisticated level. And that's the one-time training you need to go through. The membership in Profit First is only $496 a month. And that is your membership fee. What this allows you to do, the biggest advantage is you affiliate with the brand. Remember I said, what's your marketing cost? I don't know, some businesses to market out to the tens of thousands of customers they have will spend tens of thousands of dollars, or more likely spend tons of time, which is very costly to do. This replaces that. So that alone, I think, is a major benefit, is the exposure you get and the brand affiliation you get. But you'll also benefit from the inbound inquiries using SEO, all the tools, all that's included in your membership. Membership is cancelable anytime. We are devoted to driving you forward and making sure your business is successful. If we're not delivering on our promise, you can cancel anytime. There's no contract, none of that. And so it's that simple. Here's how we proceed. If you're interested in becoming a Profit First professional, I'm going to put a link right now in the chat. So let's see if I got that correct. Hopefully you see the link in the chat. Now, just one word of warning. When you go to that link, it may come up and say, there's a little splash page that says, I want to become certified. I want this. Just click on browse the entire site. It may throw you back to the home page. There's a little technical glitch this morning when I was testing it out. Go to that link a second time after you say, I want to browse the entire site. It'll bring you to the right page, the page to put down a deposit. What we're asking for today is, if you're interested in becoming a Profit First professional, is a deposit for $495. It is fully refundable. The reason is we have had so many inquiries coming in about Profit First is that we had to change the model. There's a lot of people that are discovering it that say, I want to get certified. I know nothing about it. And they're working with our team here for, questions and stuff for an hour or two. And then deciding, you know what, this isn't right, or they're not the right size business, or we're feeling they're not right. What we found by asking a deposit, it's a great way to separate people out that are serious about this opportunity versus people that don't want to consider it now. The deposit is fully refundable. So if at any time you feel this is not a fit for me, or I don't want to do it, you tell us and we refund on the spot. Also, we reserve the right when we're interviewing you, if we feel that you're not a compliment to our organization or the timing's not right, we'll be very forthright about it, but we'll refund you immediately and not be able to extend membership. We want people that are really looking to leverage this model to distinguish themselves, to be of great service to the top client community, and to introduce systems. So the deposit simply allows you to schedule a call with our team, interview with us, and then we'll apply it toward your training. And if any time we feel, or you feel it's not a fit, we refund the deposit. We are limiting the class to 10 people, and it looks like 2 people already signed up. So thank you for going to that link so far. But we are limiting the class to the first 10 people. We're not playing favorites or anything like that. We found first come, first serve is the best way to do it. When you register or when you put down this deposit, you'll talk with one of our team members here. We will answer all your questions to make sure Profit First is a fit for you. We have a lot of questions for you to make sure Profit First membership is a fit for us by sending it to you. We'll evaluate that. We'll also explore which classes are an appropriate fit for you. So as a reminder, the investment is a one-time training. It's actually a little bit less than $3,000. And then the membership is only $495 a month. No contract, fully can be canceled at any time. But we endeavor that this will be the best investment you've ever made in your business. It's not just a certification. It is a movement, and you'll be part of the brand. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, I want to make sure I answer it. Again, if you don't see the link, please do tell me, but the link is right there. Click on it now. And it looks like a third person or fourth now. I say it's not so good. The register's up there on my computer, but it looks like some people are signing up. So that link should be working. Do you have any questions? If you do, please put it in here. And while you do that, I just want to share a story of one of my favorite stories, the woman named Cindy Thomason. And I'll do it in a second because I saw a question come in. What happens if you cancel your membership? Are you still certified to use Profit First? Great question. No, Linda, you are only certified during your membership period. We have a recertification also that happens every year. So you'll get a certification in the training for year 1. Year 2, we requalify you. Profit First is always advancing, and there's new training coming out. We want to make sure that you're current on top of it. We do live training in Australia next year. There is not live training planned specifically for Australia. We do have a location in Melbourne, Australia. We have, I think, 35 active Profit First professionals in Melbourne. We just opened up our Melbourne office about a year ago. The president's name is Laura Elkis-Lassie. There is no live training currently for people are signing up, but when you do become a member, I know there's ongoing workshops happening there. All right, Anthony, yes, the membership is $496 a month. $496 a month to be a core member of Profit First. Cindy has a question, says, I'm just starting my business. When do you think is the best time to join PF? Great question. If you're just starting out and you don't have an established client base, there's one of 2 ways to go. One is you can leverage Profit First significantly and really stand out in that because you don't have another offering behind that. The risk, of course, is you may not be recognized as an expert in your other skills yet. So for many brand new startups, if you started your business specifically because you want to be a bookkeeper or an accountant or a coach, I suggest master that for a year or two, and then let's revisit this. Some members have joined saying, listen, I'm starting my business specifically because Profit First is how I'm going to distinguish myself, and I'm skilled enough and ready to do that. Those are the unique circumstances that we encourage you to do it. Karen says, I was tied up with a client call, missed a lot. Are you running this webinar again this week? I'm sorry, Karen. This is live, and we do not run it again, and we are only doing the invites today. We will open this up again next year. There's a remote possibility, if we don't fill our 10 spots, that we will open it again maybe in December. So I encourage you to check out through the notes here. Maybe if you feel so compelled, you can put down a deposit, speak with our team, and if it's not a fit, we'll refund it to you immediately. I'm sorry that we don't do this on a recurring basis. Are the leads provided for 497? Anthony, good question. No, we do not provide leads to what's called core membership. Our advanced members, who have to be members for at least 6 months and show propensity and capability within Profit First and are certified, do we start introducing leads to. We consider the icing on the cake. And if you're looking for a lead gen program, I wouldn't become a Profit First professional. If you're looking to distinguish yourself in the market and really stand out, and if you get leads from us as an organization as on top of that, consider it the icing. But we think the most successful members see Profit First as their great differentiator. They leverage the brand and they become vocal about it on social media. Some people do public speaking about Profit First. Others just market it to their existing clients and they get word of mouth referrals. So that's how I would plan to get the leads. And just to be clear, we don't provide the leads to you unless you're an advanced member. We call them the mastery level members. Mira, I hope I said your name correctly, says, my company currently has 3 business associates. Is membership per person or per firm? Excellent question. We have a per firm membership. If you have less than 10 employees or associates, it's the same fee. You will have to designate a single person there to be your lead at Profit First. We'll give them the training, but you're a certified firm. Can you tell me how many Profit First professionals are in my area? Susan, we have over 400 Profit First professionals globally, and they're in different areas. When you talk with our team member here, you can ask about your area. Here's one thing I'd caution you on, Susan, is definitely don't compete on geography. Clients look for expertise. So we encourage and train our members to become niche specialists. In fact, my book, Surge, is one of the trainings that we provide to our members, is Surge training on how to be a niche specialist and attract clients nationally and even internationally. We are I believe, in a very global economy now, and particularly US-based businesses, if you're in the US, really need to expand internationally, and we will guide you through that process. Be a niche specialist, not someone that's trying to compete for the local town or community. That's what I just encourage you to do. Can you get certified in Mexico? Will it be online? Yes, Luis, you can be certified in Mexico. We have people in Monterrey, in Mexico City, and actually other locations in Mexico that they don't come to mind. We do have La Ganancia es Primero, so it's translated, the book is translated into Spanish, and we do have some Spanish training too. And we do have a Spanish support group, Spanish speaking support group, mostly based out of Mexico and Central America, some out of the US. Our most so let me just put the link up again, guys, so I see, well, we may be filling up the spots now. So here's the thing. When you go to this link, when you place your deposit, if the system says all spots full when you process it, it will not charge your card. It will say that all spots have been filled. And then we'll contact you again, in the 2020 season to see if it's a fit. Again, we're just doing first come, first serve. I hope you understand the importance for us to do that, so we don't play favorites, so to speak. Since I've read the book, I'm more or less practicing Profit First methodology. I'm working on building up my cash flow to afford the membership soon. That's great. Yeah, implement it for yourself. And when the time is right, do it. One thing I encourage for everyone with this decision or any decision, trust your instinct. If your instinct says, let's not do this, and then you're trying to logically talk yourself into it, I found it's best you don't do it. Conversely, if your instinct is like, we got to do this, but your mind is like, I'm fearful, I don't know, that's called being a human being. That's normal. I really encourage you to trust your instinct and don't try to talk yourself into it, and don't try to talk yourself out of it. Trust the gut. That's just from my experience. Lori says, after the 3,000 in training to be a PFP, we have to remain members. What does that membership include? All right, the $3,000 one-time training is here at our offices, or in our California location, we're doing training. You can also revisit that training too, if you want to go through training a second time. We have some people that do that. But the training is only necessary one time. The membership includes the brand affiliation. You will be a certified Profit First professional and distinguish yourself in the market that way. You'll have a credibility badge assigned to you to prove to your customers that you are a true certified Profit First professional. The number one determinant if an entrepreneur hires someone that coaches Profit First is, are they certified in this process and currently active, meaning are they currently certified in learning the newest techniques? So that's the number one benefit. Then you have our community. As you go through the process of implementing Profit First for clients, any questions, any challenges, our community supports you, but you also have a live guide here who actively works with you. It's Aaron or Mike Scalise or Billy Ann or Angie or Ron. We have a large team here that will back you. We even do the sales calls with you and some of the support work if you're not ready for it, so that you do it properly and fully. Plus, by the way, as a member, you get access to all the work I do. I love entrepreneurship. It is my passion. And I deliver all of my training and knowledge to our Profit First professional membership. So if you're interested in scaling your business using some of these other techniques, like I write about in Clockwork, Surge, I have a brand new book coming out. Every one of our members is getting a free copy of my brand new book before it's released, but I also do teachings online. So if that appeals to you, that's just a little bonus that we give to our members. Levy, the training can be conducted online. The live training, that one-time live training, is actually in person. So you do need to come to our offices. If there's a unique extenuating circumstance, we will do a Zoom tie-in, but it is a live participating event. So you can participate online. We try to discourage that, but there has been circumstances where someone was unable to make it for personal reasons, and we conduct Zoom meetings for that. So that's definitely possible. So you don't have to come in person. It's highly recommended. One more time, guys, I'm gonna put the link up. And I want to respect your time. We're going to start wrapping things up. Oops, I disabled my camera. Sorry about that. Let me put my camera back on. I pushed the wrong button there. The next time you have this available, will the only way to join by attending a webinar, or can you add yourselves to a wait list? Yeah, Darlene, we don't have a wait list now. But if you've got this email, you're a subscriber to the Profit First Professional site. You will get a notice when we do this next year. So you can go to profitfirstprofessionals.com and click on, there's an option that says get tools or something on the home page, but you are subscribed, I presume. Do you know the dates for December? Yeah, the December training dates, I think, are December 9th and 10th. When you talk with our team here, they'll talk about those dates. We also have March, I think, 2nd and 3rd available. And there's other dates too, if those dates don't work for you. You will start your certification process at the training. All right, guys, thank you for attending. I do want to respect your time. I have two final thoughts for you. Again, I encourage you, if you're interested in considering Profit First, this is the opportunity to become a member, and we would love to welcome you with open arms and support you. I'm on a mission, actually. I have a bracelet to remind me every day to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. So this is near and dear to my heart. I know it's accountants, bookkeepers, and coaches that are actually serving our entrepreneurial world. So thank you for what you do. If you've been considering becoming an entrepreneur, a Profit First professional, this is the opportunity. I encourage you to trust your instinct. If it doesn't feel right, let's not do this. Let's revisit it down the road. And if it does feel right, we'd be honored and privileged to have the next conversation with you by going to that link. And the second and last thing I want to say is just thank you for what you do. I think the unheralded superheroes of the entrepreneurial world are the ABCs. What you're doing is you're getting to the most intimate part of your clients' businesses. You're working with their financials. You're working with their fears, and you're helping entrepreneurs drive through. Our global economy is supported by small business. So thank you for doing what you do, because you support small business. All right. Thanks again for joining. And it looks like there's a couple slots left. So if you're interested, please go to the link now. I'll put it one more time. And I look forward to personally greeting you as a Profit First professional. Thank you again. And I'll see you real soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. All right. I'll see you, Amy. Thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye. See you, Miguel. Moises, thank you. Thanks for joining today. Take care. Okay, I'm going to post the link one more time, and I'm going to end the meeting for all of us. So just click on that link if you want to pursue membership. Thanks again. Bye-bye.